Good evening, everyone. Welcome to What's the Play? This is week 6 recap where Lucas and we decided to break the show into 2 last week to try and hopefully keep them less than right around an hour. They've been getting a bit long on us as we're getting a bit long-winded. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining. Lucas, how are you tonight?
Glad to be here with you, Corey. We had a great weekend, I think, both of us, college and NFL. It might have been our best weekend this football season. It was for me.
It definitely was my best college weekend as well. I went 4-2 overall. That crappy play I gave out on Friday was full fade, but on Saturday ended up going 4-1. So felt really good about it. And then NFL Sunday was I went 4-4, and Monday, as you know, cleaned up pretty well. Yeah, cleaned up. So
the quarter plays.
Yeah,
those and third quarter plays.
Those seem to be maybe something I'm going to have to look a lot more into. I was kind of surprised the odds that they're given for those things are quite fair, I guess, in a lot of ways. So I guess we'll kind of get to it. Maybe we'll just let's do this in reverse order. Let's start with NFL instead and talk about maybe the games that we played and some of the props we gave out, how those turned out. Actually, one thing I'd like to note here is the game picks overall, the money line picks that you and I did. Holy cow!
Talk about.
Yeah, started 11-0, and then lost the last 2 games. At least I did. I picked Giants and the Jets, and both of those ended up losing. So we might have something there where we might have to kind of do a round robin or toss maybe like 5.
Let's do something on Friday for sure.
Yeah.
So I went 13-1 in my money line picks last week, and it doesn't mean anything if I didn't play anything. If I didn't parlay it, so
yeah.
Maybe Friday we'll come up with something.
You saw that guy on DraftKings who I think he did was his all spreads.
I'm thinking of when you say that.
Yeah.
There was some odd spreads in there, but yeah.
It was like plus 23,000 or something ridiculous. So yeah, good for him.
Yeah, we both had some tremendous reads last Sunday and Saturday.
Yeah, I actually wrote some couple notes down here that I'll pitch them to you now so you can kind of think about them. One thing, maybe who your couple winners of the week were, like in terms of team or props, and then who your losers of the week are, both for NFL and college. And then what was maybe your favorite game to watch overall. So keep that in the back of your mind. We'll kind of go over that as we get towards the end of each section, and then we'll kind of we'll spit those out. But let's start with NFL. How'd you end up faring out here?
It's my best Sunday of the season. I sure needed that Sunday. I'm not sure exactly. Somewhere around 10 units over the course of the weekend. I didn't have a big Monday like you. I sure wish I did. Brees had a huge game. Iowa State alum.
That's right.
Iowa State jacket on tonight. So I gave out Kamani Vidal on Sunday. He scored at plus 1,400 when I sent it to the Discord. So that was a very, very fun cash. Hit a
and the
Giants
interesting
Bengals SGP. It was my first parlay I've hit in 5 weeks. I haven't hit a parlay in so long. Hit that Giants and Bengals parlay. It had no business cashing, but Chase Brown, I don't even know if you were watching at that point. Might have been past your bedtime, but Chase Brown definitely most coaches would say go down at the 2-yard line, but he ended up scoring and then got those last Wan'Dale Robinson yards. So that was a huge confidence boost, I think, for me last week to get a plus 1,400 and a plus 950 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Sure wish I got a SGP last night. I bet on Braylon Allen instead. I should have gone higher with Brees yards, but that's all right. It was a very good Sunday for me overall.
Yeah, it was nice to see. It was nice to see you finally hit some parlays. I know you've had a nasty streak of luck. missing one leg, almost consistently on all of the parlays.
It's actually insane how many one-leg parlays I've missed.
Yeah. So it was. as they say, it was nice to see one go through the hoop, right?
It wasn't a monster hit, but needed to see one go through the hoop.
Yeah. Maybe we'll kind of, I don't know how you want to maybe do this since this is our first time kind of doing a recap. I don't remember. So the Bears, that early game, the Bears Jags, actually, I know both of us like the Bears to win there, and boy, they crushed. I actually got smoked on this game because I played about I think I played 2 or 3 builder plays and all of them lost on some crappy stuff. So it's in your room.
Yeah, one more Tank Bigsby yard. So my Sunday did not start off very good. I was a little upset about that. I 24 yards.
I was the same. I had him for 25 yards in a builder play, and he missed. And
he had a run call back for holding. Never got the ball again after that.
Nope, never did. Kurt came through. He was the other leg on my builder.
6 carries.
Yeah. Roshan was a guy I know we've talked about a bunch of times, just trying to maybe catch him live. I'm glad I didn't think about it this time. 5 carries for 8 yards, just horrific output by him there. But things we talked about on this game, Jags got in late. They looked bad. Caleb Williams finally looking like things are clicking for him, and they're kind of looking like a decent team, and the Jags just continue to trend in the wrong direction.
We talked about it Friday. The Jags didn't get to London until early Friday morning, and that they sure looked like they were jet lagged.
Yep.
Jags, they need something to change. Whether it's Doug Peterson being fired or what, they need something. 1-5.
Yeah, and and the one thing is like you said, they need a change. And Trevor Lawrence, he had a decent day, 23 for 35, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception in there. But I don't know. He doesn't look that great to me this year. Seems to be making a lot of mistakes. Obviously, this week was decent, but he's not really helping the team, in my opinion, kind of propel them forward. So, like you said, a big change might be needed there. We'll see what happens. I don't think anything mid-season is going to happen like the Jets did, but boy,
well, they lose to New England this week, maybe.
Yeah, and as we kind of talk about, this is a recap and early look ahead spot. I know last Friday that was one spot that you and I already circled. Team staying over there, going against a terrible Patriots team. Seems like a good spot for them to maybe get a win.
We can talk about the Patriots later. Other thing is Evan Ingram returning this game. 10 catches, 102 yards.
Yeah, so we'll kind of move on to some of the other games. I know you and I both liked Josh Jacobs' yards here in the Packers game. I wrote down Jordan Love under attempts. I didn't write down what his number was. I don't know if he went under or over on that one.
35.5.
That was his line.
He went under that. And I had the total passing yards. That one went under.
Yep.
I think Jacobs missed by like 4 or 5 yards. I think it was like 66.5.
It was 67. I wrote that one down, so he missed it by 5.5.
Yeah, he got the attempts, not the yards.
Yep. 18. His carries line was 16.5. So free. The lowest I think I saw Josh Jacobs' yards live was 62 or 61. So boy, depending on what it was, you could have been sweating and maybe got a win or a loss there. So
ugly weather in this game. Seemed like Arizona looked like a team that the practice is in. They weren't quite ready in the first half.
Yeah, your cap on that was absolutely dead on. The weather definitely affected them. Jordan Love looked good, 258 yards. Good. They're not a team to mess around with, and they got a big matchup this week. So the Colts and the Lions.
Weather games.
Yes. Colts and the Lions. I don't remember what you had or if you had anything there. Titans?
Well, I didn't have anything for Colts and Titans.
Yep, I didn't either. Joe Flacco.
Nothing for that.
He started again this week. Played pretty good. They come away with the win, which I think is all that matters. I know they were still kind of resting Richardson, so we'll see what they do this week with him. So
Seems like he's going to play next week. We'll see.
And I don't know if that's
doing just all right.
I'm not sure that that's even the right move, really, because
I have no idea.
Yeah, Flacco's playing
long term, yeah, but short term, Flacco's definitely better.
Yep, I agree. Texans and the Patriots. That was an easy game for a win there, in because I did give out Texans, Bears, and the Eagles in a kind of teaser type play that cashed roughly easy. The Eagles made it a little sweatier than I would have liked, but the Texans. Then that whole deal with Sirianni, like, didn't he tell a fan to fuck off or something like that?
He said something. I don't know what he said. I can't lip read, but talking to some fans.
Yeah, he apparently apologized today for that. You do it. He apparently apologized today, which I don't know if it's me. You said what you said. Why back down? Like, clearly he's not liked there, and definitely on the hot seat. Oh, I mean, even after a win, weren't they? I think they were yelling fire. Fire Sirianni or something like that.
It might have been after the game.
It was halftime. They were saying that. That's what it was, that they were yelling that. So, the Eagles just haven't looked very good, but they come away with the win. Nico Collins was out for the Texans. Did you have anything
Drake
for
May
this?
Looked all right.
Drake May looked really good.
Uncertainties. Pop Douglas had his first career touchdown. Now they have to play the Jaguars next Sunday.
Yeah, sneaky little
Patriots a little bit of life. Very curious to see what he's going to look like next week against the Jaguars.
Sneaky little hint to play.
Pass defense is so awful this year.
Yep. I think a sneaky little play or hint for a play I'm going to be on, I think, next week is Drake May. He looked really good. Jaguars.
I think the lines might be out already. That London game.
Let's see. I know I looked earlier this morning and I didn't see anything. Nope.
I didn't see it earlier, but
nothing on FanDuel anyways. And I doubt anything's out on DraftKings. Nope, nothing there either. So
I don't know if they scored 21 points with Jacoby Brissett in there. Certainly gave the Patriots some life on offense.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Obviously, Drake May is definitely the future there. Just look so much more like a competent quarterback. So sure. And then now they get a team that's levels below the Texans and the Jaguars. So points might be scored in that one. Bucks and the Saints. I don't remember what you have there. Did you have anything? I think Lucas. There he's back. For the Bucks and the Saints, did you have anything?
Yeah, my internet's messing up.
Yeah.
Oh, I had Chris Olave, and he got a concussion first quarter, so that was one of my tougher losses of the week because I think it was going to go way over 48.5 yards, but it wasn't meant to be. They're going to be out this Thursday. We'll, of course, talk a little bit about that game. I don't think there's too much to like in that Broncos-Saints game without Olave, but that was very tough. I had him in a couple parlays. I think it was just bonus money, but still, that was definitely one of my favorite plays of the week.
Yeah.
I doubled down with the Saints team total live. I had under 17.5, and they had the punt return touchdown, and then back-to-back picks. They scored 27 points in like 5 minutes. And then, and then score again after that.
Yeah, that was
that was my big loser of the week. That Bucks and Saints game.
That was a nasty.
Bucky Irvin, so it wasn't a complete loss, but yeah, that Saints game was frustrating because I feel like I had a good read overall in that game, and this wasn't meant to be. They scored like 27 points and very quickly. Punt return and then back-to-back picks.
Yeah, right here. Was this it? No, that was the Short pass.
Punt return, touchdown, interception, field
Yep.
goal, interception, touchdown.
Interception, touchdown, putt. Yeah. So
But I do like what I saw from Spencer Rattler, that's for sure. Especially without Chris Olave, because I bet the team total on there when Olave was out officially. Because I didn't think he was going to do anything on offense, and quite frankly, they didn't do too much on offense. They were gifted a couple picks, but overall, I think Spencer Rattler had a very good first start. And Rashid Shaheed's most likely going to be out Thursday, so not looking good for the Saints.
no, it's
We'll talk
not.
about that Saints later.
They're looking pretty thin. And yeah, he was hurt in the first quarter, wasn't he? When he got that concussion?
Olave,
Yeah.
it was first or second drive.
Yep. So I know I had his receptions. I think, like you said, that whole everything I think on him was going to fly over, and he got concussed. So that was definitely a very, very bad beat there, unfortunately. So I didn't have, that was all I had there. And then to be honest, I was not looking good coming out of the early window with losing 2 to 3 plays on the Jaguars Bears. Oh, that's right, because on the Jaguars Bears, I took that my way thing that we talked about, where I was able to put under. Yeah, and I lost on Tank Bigsby. So
yeah, that sucked.
Yep. Then I used the boost, of course, and then I can't remember. I maybe took something live, but wasn't looking good coming out of the early window, other than the teaser hitting. So then there was the Browns and Eagles. The only thing I know you had was right. Did you have AJ Brown receiving yards there?
AJ Brown yards.
Yep. Flew over that, and he even flew over the line.
His whole ladder. Of course, I didn't have the ladder straight, and I parlayed the ladder, but with Olave. But and even definitely one of our favorite plays of the week. That was a pretty easy cash.
We got what was the yard? What was his line at when we played it? 70 something, 76,
67 and a half,
67 and a half.
No, I got 67. It got up to like 73 and a half, but
yeah, okay, yeah. I mean,
whatever number you got, it didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Very easy cash.
Yep, whatever y'all saw it at when we did the show on Friday was a cash either way. So easy, sweat-free win there. My God, the Browns are horrid. Obviously, they traded Amari Cooper today. Wonder if if I'm the Detroit Lions, surely you're calling after Myles Garrett, right?
Hope you do something.
I mean, to be honest, you're talking about going from a Super Bowl contender to probably not, because you lost Aiden Hutchinson on a game that you were kicking the dog shit out of the Cowboys, which is just, man, it's tough to see for their fan base. You hate it. And he's a good player. So Michigan guy, played at Michigan. So hopefully.
Thank you, Fox, for not showing 6 replays of his leg going the other way.
God, yeah.
I didn't see the replay until hours afterwards. That's my least favorite thing in the NFL. When they showed the 6 close-up replays of his leg going the other way, it's awful.
Yeah, I don't need to see it 6 ways from Sunday. The first time I saw it was good enough, and I was like, good God.
I didn't see it the first time live. I missed whatever happened. I just saw him angry at frustration.
The weird thing was because I was watching that game live, when I saw him go down and he's kind of laying there on his side, and he like wasn't moving his arm, and then he took his glove. He took his other hand.
I saw him take his gloves off.
And I actually thought he'd hurt his wrist because of the way he wasn't moving his arm and how he took his gloves off. So I was like,
they didn't zoom in on his leg, bet the other way.
Yep. Yeah, when they were trying to figure out.
So devastating.
Yeah, I feel really bad for him. And I got a bunch of friends back in Michigan since I lived there for 5 years prior to moving out here. And yeah, they're not happy. They're devastated, and rightfully so. So
my Lions division winner ticket's not looking as good as it was yesterday or Sunday.
And they have a very tough game coming up this Sunday.
Yeah, this Sunday. That's the game of the week.
It absolutely is. So Ravens and the Commanders. Boy, you and I capped that one dead on. It was a little closer than we thought, but Jalen Daniels come down to earth type moment against a great defense in the Ravens. They walk out of there with the win, but yeah, they put up a hell of an effort.
Good read on that game.
Yep. hell of an effort by them. Henry just crushed rushing yards again. I mean, my God.
Zay Flowers, I didn't play him, but I think we talked about him.
Yeah, we definitely did, and didn't touch him, unfortunately. I clicked the wrong game there.
The one play I did have, the Commanders under team rushing. I think they had 52 yards.
Yep.
I had under 132.5. They had 52, so I had 80 yards to spare. Those team rushing markets, I've done very well with those this year. I'm like 8-1 or something.
Still only one loss,
Maybe
which
not
was
quite 8-1, but
it was BS, right? It was the Cowboys, right?
Yeah, the Steelers and Cowboys.
Steelers, yeah.
Maybe not 8-1. I know I've had success with that last season, but overall, it's a good market for me.
Yeah. Man, Zay Flowers flew over receiving 132 yards, 9 receptions.
I didn't play it, but I know he mentioned Zay Flowers' name.
Yeah, great game for him there.
Henry, monster game. He was minus 330 anytime touchdown, but of course he scored twice.
Yeah, which was still what, plus 160?
Yeah, it was like something like plus 200 for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, garbage. Chargers and the Broncos, wasn't a whole lot to like there. Other than I think you played Herbert under attempts, right?
I played Herbert under attempts and under rushing yards live, so I felt very sharp with those 2 reads.
Yeah, both. The Herbert one got a little sweatier than anticipated, but cash is all the same, which was good. And, they almost let the Broncos back in it. Obviously, you can see 16 points scored by the Broncos in the fourth quarter there to make it a game. But at that point, the Chargers had pretty much let off.
It wasn't really that close.
Yeah.
The score would indicate.
Yeah, I was going to say the score is a little bit deceiving. So.
Oh, yeah, and Surtain, he got a concussion, so he's going to be out on Thursday too.
Yeah. These are all kind of things you need to remember when you're talking about look ahead lines for next week or this week. So it's why you got to really follow, maybe some good X site or not sites, pages or whatever that kind of keep up on that stuff. Underdog's a good one. So Steelers and the Raiders.
Next game.
Yeah, Steelers and the Raiders was actually, it was gross, but the Steelers put up 32 points, which was a bit surprising.
Got it in my notes here. AOC 35 plus attempts plus 425, 40 plus 1400. I didn't play it. Got it here in my notebook.
And you know what?
See that until yesterday. I couldn't believe I didn't play that because I liked his attempts and I thought his ladder odds were good and didn't play it. Had it written down as a live spot.
Yep.
Like 31.5 live when I saw it, 32.5, and I passed. That was a mistake because he had 40. He cashed the whole attempts ladder.
Yep. And I know you talked about
read by me, but doesn't mean anything if you don't play it.
Yeah.
I did mention AOC and Brock Bowers. I played Brock Bowers receptions.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Didn't you talked about Aiden O'Connell as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Brock Bowers had 9 receptions. I didn't ladder his receptions. I only had 5 plus. He got 9. Yeah. So if I'd ladder some of these picks.
10 targets. Unbelievable. God.
Of course, no Devontae anymore, so it's all Brock Bowers in Vegas now.
It's the Brock Bowers show, so be interesting to see what some other teams start doing if he starts getting bracketed coverage and actually, you're probably going to see his line pretty high, but with no one else on the other side. Well, even though Devontae's had this hamstring issue, right? So we'll see what they do. Also, he's, Crosby's been the other guy you've been hearing for maybe the Lions to pick up, but it seems like they want way too much for him, like 3 or 4 for first rounders, which is quite a bit to give up. So what was maybe supposed to be the game of the week turned into the woodshed beating of the week. So the Lions just absolutely decimating the Cowboys 47-9. Didn't see that happening. I saw them winning pretty handily. Like, I thought they'd win by 10 points, but didn't see this.
CD cashed his line, whatever number you got, in only 3 quarters.
Yep.
Needed him to score a touchdown to cash a nice parlay. tough loss. Dak got picked off in the end zone looking for CD, and Dallas offense didn't do anything after that. I think I was in first or second drive, first quarter.
Yeah.
Still, whatever number you got, CD Lamb, it cashed.
And I gave out we talked about was it going to be as easy as Montgomery Gibbs 40-40, and yes, it was.
It was that easy.
It was that easy. I played him using that bet your way thing on that only Coloradans have here, and I played him at 42-42, which put it to plus 108. So again, sweat free, absolutely easiest cash there could be. And then I played another builder with. I did play CD Lamb with you, so that was, like you said, just so easy. I also did play Jahmyr Gibbs for a touchdown live, and of course, thanks Gibbs, didn't get one there. Everyone under the
fucking around on offense in the second half.
Yeah, everyone scoring
under Taylor Decker and shit.
Yeah, fucking hate to see it, but like you said, they're passing the ball to like Taylor Decker.
Throwing to Taylor Decker. They're just messing around.
Yeah. Just absolutely disrespecting the Cowboys on Jerry Jones's birthday. So
if I knew it was Jerry Jones's birthday, I would have unloaded on the Lions. Nobody told me that. I didn't see that till after the game.
I didn't know until mid-game or whatever when they brought it up in the broadcast, and I was like, "What? I wish I didn't know." Because
they're not going to win on Jerry Jones's birthday.
You know what's funny is no one hates the Lions more than Dan Campbell. So he fucking hates them for some reason. I mean, a lot of people hate the Cowboys, don't get me wrong, but
a little revenge spot from last year.
Yep.
The Lions kind of got fucked over that was it an ineligible receiver or somebody didn't report whatever it was.
Yeah.
Lions got fucked over a little. Depending on who you ask.
Then you had the Falcons, Panthers. Actually, a bit less gross than I thought it was going to be. There's some scoring done, but
I had a good read on this game. I didn't play anything for this game. Exactly how I thought. Algier had a big game. Bijan had a big game. Even Chipper Hubbard had a big game when Carolina lost.
God, how much does Bijan hate
all the running backs? Yeah, I don't know if there's a single player I've lost more on than Bijan in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, guy, you didn't bet him this game, and he just absolutely.
I talked about him. This is the game to bet Bijan. Of course, he 95 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and then 10 yards through the air. So, my God.
And I bet him it's 32 yards.
But Algier
that's the one player I just cannot get the right read on. I mean, I did last Sunday, but I did not play him. Bijan doesn't work out when I bet Bijan.
One play I did have in this game was I live bet Chuba Hubbard. His line got, I think I caught it at 54. And
50s?
Yeah, it was in the 50s. I know I think I caught it on the higher end of the 50s and it got down to 52, but I mean, it was never in doubt. The Falcons are one of the worst run defenses in the league. And obviously Hubbard puts up 92. So that was a pretty easy cash there. But yeah, there was a lot in this game that he could have really. Drake London continues to have great games. It's either him or sometimes Ray McLeod. I can never pick the right one on those guys. So it's for the Falcons. I didn't have a good read on that one other than the Hubbard spot I played live. And then the game that was just made my eyes fucking bleed. I did not even stay up to finish the game. The Bengals.
I'm glad I did.
I already fed Remy. I fed her. I already fed her. I didn't stay up to watch this game. There was no way I was going to stay up to watch this crap. 17-7. I mean, my God. Just the only thing I almost hit a plus 500 play. I almost hit a plus 500 play, but thank you, Zach Moss, for being the biggest piece of shit and doing nothing. I see. So, yeah, 13 yards on 6 carries. Chase Brown was the one. Apparently, he should have been playing there. Tyrone Tracy, 17 carries, 50 yards. I don't even know what his attempts line was, but I'm sure it wasn't 17.
13.5. Yeah, he cashed everything but the rushing yards. And of course, I played rushing yards.
Yep, which was 53.
Receptions, receiving yards. He scored, got the attempts. Didn't get the
Yep.
rushing yards. 56.5.
56.5. Okay.
But he cashed
Yeah.
for my SGP, so it's all good.
Jamar Chase, 72 again. T. Higgs, 77. Shout out to Charts Guy. Charts, if you're watching, go. Nice play on him. He played him 75 plus. Just squeaked it out there. Just squeaked it out. So, solid play by him there, though. So, yeah, I missed. Like I said, missed the only play I had on here was I used the boost for a plus 500. And Zach Moss, thanks for nothing, asshole. So, and then we'll finish off with last night's game, Monday, the Bills and the Jets. Boy, I thought you and I had the read on this game that was going to be the Jets. And seemed like the refs wanted them to win, but they just couldn't get it done. Rodgers.
Honestly, the Jets outplayed them. The Jets really should have won that game, I thought.
Yeah.
A couple missed field goals from Greg Zuerlein.
Yeah, Greg the leg missing three field goals or two, but regardless.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
Missed 3 of them?
I think it was 3, but
it was really outplayed the Bills. The Jets should have won that game. Reese had a monster game. Lazard had a monster game. He had that Hail Mary at the end of the first half.
My God, how good was that Hail
Garrett
Mary?
Wilson had a huge game. I'm not sure if we're going to see those Garrett Wilson numbers again.
Nope. Yeah, so I did put out on X for those listening a first quarter. Well, it was a third quarter play, actually. It was Garrett Wilson for 5 yards and Breece Hall for 10 rushing. And Breece breaks one off for like 20 or something. And I was actually getting a little worried that they weren't going to get the ball back to pass it to Garrett Wilson. And there was maybe 4 minutes left or something like that in the quarter. And then they tossed one out to him on a screen and he gets up like 10. So pretty easy. It was plus 141, I believe. And the builder I had for this game cashed very easily. Breece Hall receptions, Dalton Kincaid for 25 yards, and I think I had Breece Hall 60-plus rushing and receiving. So Monday game actually turned out pretty well for me, going 4-0 on that one. So, but other than that, I agree, Jets outplayed them. Mike Williams getting cut for sure. That's like 2 weeks in a row that he's, dropped balls or in these big time spots when Rodgers has gone to him. And obviously last night where he just fell down in the grass for no reason and then the ball gets picked. So don't know what to say there, I guess. So let's look ahead to some of the early games here for this week. See if there's really anything. We already kind of
Saints Thursday.
Yeah.
Go Nick, Spencer Rattler. What is there to like in this game? No Chris Olave, probably no Rashid Shaheed. Kind of a tongue twister there. Patrick Surtain's going to be out for Denver. So I don't know where you go besides Kamara. Well, I didn't see Kamara's questionable.
Apparently, he's questionable. Kamara's questionable. So
I mean, like Kamara receptions or receiving yards, the only play off the top of my head. I don't know where you would go with for either team.
Sutton, maybe.
I mean, yeah, maybe Cortland Sutton. I haven't seen if we have a no sweat SGP for that game. Yeah, for every other Thursday game, but I see one yet. But this is not a game I would bet if it was at 1 o'clock on a Sunday. That's for sure. Not spending very much time if it was not a primetime game.
This actually might be a game I just pass altogether unless.
I just might pass. Unless we get a no sweat.
There's not really anything you said.
Lines right now, there's nothing that jumps out to me except maybe Kamara receiving, but I didn't see that he's questionable.
The only thing I might try, like you said, if we get a no sweat bet, I might try some unders in that first quarter stuff.
Maybe.
That would be kind of an
Maybe
interesting.
first quarter would be the play.
Yeah.
First quarter play for that.
Because otherwise, there's just not. I mean, I don't know who gets the ball. What's your game plan? Are you trying to run it a bunch if you're the Broncos? I don't know.
Yeah, Sean Payton's talking about getting Estime involved.
Yeah. So that it's going to come down to maybe day of where I decide if I even want to play that game or not. Yeah. We'll kind of move on. Let's not waste too much time. Yeah, let's not waste too much time talking on a pretty shit game. So the London game, Patriots and Jags. We've touched on this. Both you and I like the Jags here early, staying over there.
Well, I don't know anymore, to be honest.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Kind of lean the Patriots now after seeing Drake May in that offense.
Yeah. I think the Jags opened up at. Did they open up at 4.5?
Might have been 4.5.
Yeah, I think it's gone up to 5.5 now.
Yeah, 5.5 now. I think I might lean New England now. I hope that the Jaguars win because I have a couple New England futures under 4.5 wins and Drake May under yards.
You know, props. Actually, I'm gonna pull this up here. My play, I think that I can maybe get for this game if it's around what props.cash is projecting here is Drake May 184. If it's 184, my God, I may hammer that line.
I mean, if I did have a prop in that game, that would be it.
Yep.
Drake May.
Yeah. You got to assume too that we've got 34 yards, so it'll be interesting. That may be the only prop I play for that game. Interesting that you've kind of switched to the Patriots, I guess, but after seeing Drake, but totally understandable.
As awful as the Jaguars have been.
Yep. Is there anything else on that you might touch, or probably not for now?
For the rest of the Sunday slate?
Yeah, what's maybe some other Sunday early look ahead?
That rain in Green Bay? Okay, I haven't checked the weather yet. Usually I do that Wednesday.
Says 56 and
rain
rainy.
Game in Green Bay. Yeah, that'd be fun for me. I like those rain games a lot.
Yep.
If we get some inclement weather, that's certainly one of my favorite games of the week.
Yeah. Bengals and the Browns.
I did see the quarterbacks' yards. Love and C.A. Stroud, their passing yards were so high. 56 and rainy, maybe not. Maybe it's not quite a shootout.
Early look ahead there. I like the Packers to actually get a win there at home. We'll see.
DraftKings did have props for that game. I was looking at Joe Mixon yards. Looked a little bit low. Now, if it's raining, then maybe that could be a play. Mid-50s.
They already have props over that game?
Yeah, DraftKings have props for 3 games right now. One of them's the Texans and Packers. Joe Mixon, 56.5 rushing yards. Jacobs at 60.5.
Yep.
I mean, 2 solid defenses, but might have to check the weather real quick for that. Of course, we expect the 2 quarterbacks to be going back and forth. But maybe not with the weather.
Josh Jacobs looks like he's maybe the play.
Well, no, I'm not seeing some wind, but no rain. My weather app. So not sure where ESPN got that from.
Apparently AccuWeather. Wrong again, ESPN.
I do not see a chance for rain Sunday.
No.
A little bit of wind, but probably not enough to affect those quarterbacks.
Nope. Two strong arms there. So a lot like what we saw last night.
Very windy, but didn't affect those quarterbacks.
The
kicking game affected Greg Zuerlein.
Oh yeah, the swirling definitely did because he doinked them. So Seahawks and the Falcons. Don't know yet. It's not Bijan. I can tell you that he had a big game, so it's probably his under. I would almost bet.
Well, yeah, props for that game too. Seahawks and Falcons. Bijan 63.5.
63.5.
Kenneth Walker 64.5.
It's
You don't like that off the top of your head? Bijan 63.5.
no, it's his under. It's his under.
How about Drake London's a little higher than I thought, 71.5. The spot I would have looked for.
Let's go back to
I
props
think he
here.
could still go over that 71.5. Yeah, we can go to props.cash for that. Oh yeah, props for some Chiefs and 49ers props too.
63 or 60, yeah, 63. Yeah, I feel like that's going under. But the actual one I'd rather do is maybe his here rushing and receiving. So they got him at 93. I just don't. What's Seattle rank in rush defense? 23rd.
27th in yards.
Yeah, that's rush attempts. Yeah,
28th
27th.
in yards per attempt.
Yeah. So not super great. It's actually that's why they gave the little green here, telling you it's a good spot maybe for him. But if you kind of look back, obviously the Falcons gave up. Or sorry, not the Falcons. Seattle. I clicked on the wrong game here. Did they play last week? No, they did. Oh yeah, they played the Niners. That's right. They gave up 99 yards last week, which wasn't to like a third string guy. I don't even remember how to say his name, Gerardo or something like that.
Oh yeah, Garendo.
Yeah, Tracy had 129 the week before that. Obviously, then they played the Lions. They gave up 78 there. Then they played the Dolphins, 30 yards, but the Dolphins are absolutely banged up all to hell. And then they gave up 96. So I don't know. Might have to back off that, but they're not great. So it's hard to imagine Bijan not screwing me there. So
It's not look like the best slate ever on Tuesday night.
no
These games. Next game, Dolphins and Colts. Oh, I guess you have it different on ESPN, but
well,
looking
the
on
Titans
FanDuel
and the
right now.
Bills. Is there anything on the Titans and the Bills you like? I don't personally. The Bills is coming off they have a short
Well,
week.
Bills money line. They should not lose that game.
Yeah.
Will Levis starting.
So
Put the Bills in the teaser.
yeah, probably. Jesus Christ. Dolphins and the Colts. I kind of looking firsthand there. I kind of like Taylor's rushing yards, and I definitely like the Colts to win.
Depends who's starting at quarterback.
Yeah, that's why I'm waiting on this one.
Most likely going to be Richardson at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of the indication they've given. It's the indication they've been given. I hope it's Flacco. So we'll see. If it's Flacco, if it's Richardson, it's going to affect how I play for sure. So,
no, definitely.
Yeah.
Hopefully Friday we'll know.
Yeah.
Most likely.
They'll hold off, I'm sure, as long as possible, declaring someone. So, Lions and the Vikings, going to be game of the week. My early lean definitely
game of the week?
Yeah, I think it's Vikings money line.
I plays in this game, that's for sure.
Yeah, I can't believe it's actually 2.5 right now. They lost their best pass rusher, their best defensive player. They don't have any. I mean, they've lost in total this year. They've lost both ends. So I don't know how they're going to get a pass rush on Sam Darnold at all.
How about that total? 49.5. Because I'm looking at both teams to score right now.
What's some of the odds there?
Minus 134. Both teams have scored 20. They can go up to do 25, maybe even 30 plus. These odds aren't.
My only concern
plus is a straight play. But
my only concern is the Lions, because the Vikings defense has been so good.
I'm gonna have props in this game, that's for sure.
Oh my God, yeah, props galore.
It's definitely
Whatever
props
Jefferson's line is, that's
whatever Jefferson's line at, it doesn't matter. Number doesn't matter. Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably my favorite play of the week off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Anything double digits, take it.
Yep. So they've given up. I mean, look at what the defense has given up. 17.
I know you can get a props that cash for that game.
Yep.
Look at St. Brown too. Might look at St. Brown receiving yards.
76. High for a reason. I mean, 104, 44, 106.
Well, if we're getting 49.5 points, St. Brown's going to be going off.
Yep.
You would assume. Yeah, look at those the run defensive stats for Minnesota.
Oh, the
rushing yards, first in attempts, third in yards per attempt.
Yeah, second, first. I mean, Jesus.
I mean, partly because they've trailed for like 6 minutes the entire season.
Yep.
So teams aren't running the ball, but you have to throw the ball against Minnesota.
Well, and that's Detroit's strong point, really, anyways.
Same thing with Detroit. Same situation.
Yep. Whilst I do love St. Brown here, it seems like they just don't target him for some reason or another very early on. That may be different with the game script coming out this week. But, man, I just love catching the Sun God live, because sometimes you can get him down in the 60s. Yeah. And it's so free. I mean, look at him this year here. Other than the Dallas game, which was where they ass kicked, his yards have been down a lot. What's his targets at? 6, 18, 8, 6. Kind of an outlier here yesterday, 2 days ago, with 4. But he's just not getting a ton of yards after catch or these big plays where he's really bumping his receiving yards up.
Until Sunday.
Yeah.
He's 76.5. I'll take that.
Yeah.
And Jefferson at 86.5. That's my favorite play of the week off the top of my head.
That's gonna cash within the third quarter, probably.
Could cash in the first half, to be honest, but
yeah, right.
Anything double digits, take it for Jefferson.
Yep. We'll keep her moving. Eagles and Giants. I don't have anything there I like.
I don't know. Honestly, I was hoping the Eagles would lose last week, so Sirianni would be fired.
Yeah, I have not.
Maybe he gets fired if they lose this week.
If he loses this week, he's fired for sure.
Just might be.
Raiders, or I don't know. Obviously, Devontae's gone. Rams.
That could be a sneaky good game. Raiders and Rams.
Yeah, might be a lot of good.
Sneaky good game for props.
Yep. Yeah. Rams, I think, fucking house them. Obviously, the line suggests as much as well. Actually, talking about
Brock Bowers, AOC.
Talking about sneaky props here, Panthers and the Commanders could be it.
No, Panthers Commanders could be a sneaky good prop game.
Yes, I mean Jalen Daniels.
These are the games I'll be getting some props for.
Yeah,
everyone's going to be on the Chiefs and 49ers game. I like these other games, Panthers Commanders.
Is it me, or is the wrong team favored there with the Chiefs and 49ers? I think the Chiefs,
to be honest.
I think the Chiefs win that game. I mean, God knows the 49ers are just depleted with injuries. I mean, yeah, the Chiefs haven't looked that great, and they're traveling to Santa Clara, but it's hard to bet against Mahomes, even with my boy Brock Purdy on the other end.
Andy Reid's like 21-3 or something like that off a bye week.
God, yeah. Well,
something pretty crazy. Like
that's something we don't talk about enough on this show is coming off bye weeks.
Oh yeah, we're getting into bye weeks.
Speaking, I mean, how the fuck did we miss the two biggest storylines for that Lions game last week? Lions coming off a bye and Jerry Jones's birthday. I mean, that was like
David Montgomery getting paid.
Montgomery getting paid. I mean, was that not just the fucking 5U hammer of all time?
That's what I was thinking my entire Sunday evening when I was watching that game. Oh, I
I,
think we talked about it. Like Lions -3, it made too much sense. Like that line definitely could have been -6 at least.
I'm surprised that it wasn't.
Of course, the number didn't matter. Whatever number you got, any alt spread.
Yeah. And now that
It
you
made too
say
much
that,
sense that I think we both didn't bet it. Granted, I don't
yeah,
think either of us bet too many spreads during the season.
no, you
And
and
I
I
bet
like to
10 spreads over the season.
we like to do the little teasers, but
Teasers have been profitable for me. Made a couple
yeah,
teasers last week, both of them cashed.
yep,
I'll keep doing that in primetime games for sure. Hit the Sunday night and the Monday night teaser.
yeah. So the Chiefs 49ers, I don't know.
Yeah, I got to think more about that game. I'm not
Yeah,
sure. I mean, everyone's going to be watching that game and betting that game, but I like the other two. Late afternoon games better.
it's going to be probably it's going to be right up there for game of the week with the Lions and the.
For sure, it's going to be a great game to
yeah.
watch, but betting wise, I don't know.
And then it gets followed up with the absolute rat shit, biggest dog pile of game we could ask for: Jets and the Steelers.
I think that's a good betting game. I'm very curious where Garrett Wilson's going to be. Of course, everyone's going to bet Devontae.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm very curious about Jets props.
I keep going back and forth here too, is because Lazard is, he's Rodgers' guy, but now you're bringing in Devontae, who is more Rodgers' guy. Like, is he going to kind of just like forget
best buddies? Did you see him this morning? They were together.
Yeah, Pat McAfee show. Yep. Had that sleepover.
Yeah, so I think he might have been. Yeah, they had a little sleepover last night.
Right.
Devontae was waiting for him at Rodgers' house last night after the game.
Yeah.
A little sleepover.
Right. That was funny. That was a quality tweet by you. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm almost going to be very hesitant to bet that game. Maybe a pass for me just because I think it's going to be gross. And like you said, with Devontae there, everyone's going to be betting him. Probably rightfully so, because I think Rodgers is going to target him a lot. But I don't know. I go back and forth. Is Lazard a sneaky, like, sharp pick that, everyone's going to forget about him and he's just going to be open, kind of like he was in Green Bay when Devontae was there, where, everyone was double covered in Devontae, and then you had Lazard fucking wide open over the middle because they're like, who? Lazard? Yeah, so no. Monday, 2 games. Don't care for that. I hate when there's 2 games.
I think both these games are going to be great.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ravens-Bucks are going to be probably the better game in my opinion.
I mean, that's a much better game, but Chargers-Cardinals could also be a good one. Ravens and Buccaneers. I can't wait for that game. That's my second and third favorite teams.
Yep. Probably going to be
and the Bucks.
We're going to have to put some type of lotto combination between the both teams.
I'm not going to say I'm guaranteeing I'm going to hit SJP for this game, but I like my chances to the parlay for that game. Ravens and Bucks. There's a lot to like in that game, I think.
Yeah, agreed. And
obviously Derrick Henry, but Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, take your pick, Chris Godwin.
And I've been bad. I haven't really put in lottos this year. I don't know why. Generally, just because you and I aren't really big on lottos.
Need to put in some more lottos.
Yeah, you post that funny meme all the time where there's a line between the giant line of the people lined up for a 10-legger, and there's a guy actually understanding sports betting, and probably why you and I don't have maybe quite the following. Maybe definitely you should with your sharpness in the NFL, but hey, whatever, we'll keep stacking it up. So it is what it is.
I like my chances to hit a parlay next Monday. We'll talk way more about that game.
Yeah,
Friday, I'm sure.
Yep. And I one thing I want to touch on before we briefly just go to college football is that I liked that last week we stayed away from games that we thought just weren't that good, not forcing spots. That definitely helped out.
Yep.
Really stuck to, some of the live spots we touched on. For people listening, I'd really would suggest writing those down, because those live spots that we talk about, get there, they'll get to the spot we talk about, and then they'll cash. I don't know what our
Gotta have
success
the
rate
balls
is.
to play it live. Can't
Yeah.
second guess it.
Yeah, it's on. You got to be watching the games, or you got to be looking for you got to have it written down, because we do not miss much on the live spots. So, is there anything else you want to touch on NFL before we just briefly go over to college?
We'll go more in depth with some of these games Friday. Of course, some of these games I think both of us don't care for.
Yep.
But I guess the other half of the games we certainly have some props we'll be looking for. Some spots circled.
Yeah. And I kind of, like you said, that we'll kind of wait and see what some stuff comes out, and we'll obviously on Friday's show we'll have more information for everyone that's listening. So we'll go to college. Where both
you can look at the games that are on right now. I have a college play that's looking very good at the moment. We got 3 pretty shitty Tuesday night games.
South Alabama.
The scores that indicate just that.
Middle Tennessee, Louisiana Tech, which just started first quarter still. So, yeah, I mean, you sent me obviously Middle Tennessee.
A lot of losses between those 6 teams.
God, a lot of losses.
I don't think South Alabama and Louisiana Tech are quite as bad as their record would show, but Kennesaw State still looking for their first FBS win. 2-7.
What happened there? Obviously, Jesus, look at this. Punt. 1 yard loss. Okay.
Stopped at the 1. 80-yard drive got stopped at the 1.
No, I mean, yeah, I didn't disagree with your picks of South Alabama, Middle Tennessee, and Louisiana Tech, right?
Well, I got Kennesaw State alt spread, but that's looking all right.
Yep.
I'll switch from the money line to alt spread. So that's looking good at the moment.
We'll just I'm gonna just kind of quickly
time deep diving. I felt good enough to put a unit on it.
Yep, man, it's not bad.
Not that I'm a South Alabama expert.
I'm gonna quickly kind of go through the picks of last week. I gave out the Friday pick, which was absolute nothing short of rat shit. Maryland -6.5, and the Utah Arizona over 36. Both losers. So obviously Maryland got absolutely routed by Northwestern, which is just a horrendous team. And then Utah went on the road and lost to Arizona State, who was sneaky good so far this year. Probably the sharpest play I gave out was the Iowa +4.5, Army -16.5. I actually did play the punt first drive, but then after we talked about it on stream, I played it for 2 units of the -16.5. I was like, I'm not going to lose off a fucking punt. This is stupid. So Iowa obviously just absolutely murdering Washington. Again, the 2 time zone situation is just something I'm not going to drop this season. And then obviously Army not looking like a service academy, and just absolutely putting the hammer down. I think they scored, 59? Oh, they're not ranked here, but they might have scored like 49 points or something. It was something ridiculous. It's just by top 25. So, yeah, absolutely. I felt like that was one of the sharper plays I gave out. Just trying to find Army in here. Yeah, Washington.
This week.
Yeah, 40-16.
Army and Navy.
And then Army 44-10. So, I mean, not a whole lot to take away other than sharp as shit. Texas OU, I gave out Texas. I said I didn't want to lay the 14.5. Turns out didn't fucking matter. That line did get down to 9.5, and I missed it. But easy cash. I did hear that the line got down to 7.5, which I would have absolutely crushed if I saw it. but I did not. I mean, Texas is the clear number one team in the country, in my opinion. Maybe the game of the week, Ohio State, Oregon. I said Oregon plus 3.5. Oregon obviously winning the game 32-31 with maybe some of the most brilliant coaching I've seen on that. Taking the penalty to run 5 seconds off the clock, and I mean,
I've never seen that before.
I have never seen that either. Absolutely, a bit of brilliant coaching, but what the fuck is Will Howard doing? Like this, I mentioned this on stream on Friday, was that he never impressed me at Kansas State, and he did it again. I mean, he looked okay, but I said this here. I have this wrote down. 14% of bettors are on Oregon. I bet. So, that told me it was Oregon. And Will Howard with just absolutely zero awareness in that game to do the slide, call the timeout. But obviously terrible coaching by Ryan Day, not realizing that the time starts because you decline the penalty. So Dan Lanning over there playing 3D chess with Ryan Day, who was playing fucking checkers. So Iowa State, my Cyclones absolutely routing the West Virginia Mountaineers in their coal rush game. Hate to see it. Moved now to 6-0. So the other play I gave out was K-State alt line, and I paired that with USC plus 4.5. So both of those cash. Obviously, K-State late in the night, coming down and winning against Colorado. Although Colorado almost won that game, I don't know if you watched that one or not.
So the highlights, I didn't stay up for it because I had that early London game.
Yep. The other lean I gave was Cal, and I said Cincinnati money line as well. That one cashed. I didn't play it personally, but I did say that Cincinnati I thought was going to rout UCF, as I they fooled me and I was no longer a believer in them. Cal I thought was going to win money line, probably should have, but they lost. But I did say the spread was the better pick, and obviously the spread I think was 7.5 or something. So pretty good reads all around. The sneaky, terrible, gross one I gave out was right here as well. Last one was the Boise State Hawaii. They were 20 plus 28.5 underdogs, and they cover. So not sure there's a whole lot more to say on last week's stuff. Early spots I wrote down for week 8 here. So a couple spots I like right away, or that I'm circling, is Duke and Florida State. Why is Duke only a 3-point favorite against Florida State? Who
wanted that.
God awful. I'm so confused. That line seems fishy. I don't understand how Duke's not a 6.5, 7-point favorite there. Duke's 5-1. Granted, we'll take a look at their schedule here. It's Charmin, almost lost to North Carolina, and they did lose to Georgia Tech. But, I mean, Florida State has looked nothing but abysmal. I just don't understand how that line is so low still. What's your thought there, I guess?
Pretty fishy line. Doesn't quite make sense to me. I guess Florida State maybe wins with that fishy line. Because I would assume it would be Duke minus 6.5, minus 7.
Yep. We
both faded Florida State quite a bit this season.
Yeah.
I like Malik Murphy at Duke.
One thing,
a little bit of the confusing line there.
One thing I'll take a look at as it gets closer to Friday is because I want more money to come in. That's why I wait on these college games. Is what's the public on? Is it Duke? Is it that easy? Maybe it is Florida State all of a sudden. I don't know. That line just seems way too fishy for me. And obviously the public cleaned up last week in NFL. I think they had their best single week.
Best week of the season.
Yeah.
By far, I think.
Another spot that I'm circling let's make sure we're not on top 25 only. We're not.
Skip Virginia Tech Thursday night.
Yeah, I actually love Virginia Tech in that spot, but I don't know. I would want to pair them with something, and I just don't know I'm going to be able to pair it with anything.
I shouldn't like the money line there.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech money line.
Yeah.
Of course, I can't bet it in Virginia, but if you want to pair Tech and Marshall money lines.
Yeah.
I feel like
I don't know
what
those would get you. We'll take a quick peek here.
Pair Tech money line with somebody else if you don't like Marshall. I don't know.
Yeah. It's going to take a quick peek to see what Virginia Tech is money line. Let's see.
We flipped over last week. I didn't even get to say that I hit a parlay off of your picks.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Lotto. Yeah, so I had a builder and I hit a lotto. It was Army. It was a very easy cash. Texas, Oregon, and Iowa. Every leg ended up being pretty sweat-free because I had the Oregon spread. I bought a few extra points. So I had a college. Yeah, so I had three lottos over the weekend. A couple NFL and a college football parlay. So I was sitting here. I was getting some of your insights, and I ended up parlaying some of my favorites that you mentioned. 4 teams that I felt pretty good about that you talked about last Friday.
Yeah, that panned out really
very
well.
Good college football Saturday for me too. I had 2 plays and hit both of them. A builder and a lotto.
Can't really ask much.
Felt very good going into football Sunday.
Yeah.
I wish I could get a little bit more on DraftKings, but whatever.
Yeah, and they have that nice.
We'll see one go through the hoop.
They have the nice boost. Unfortunately, that plus 105%, which I post every Saturday. I kind of pick. I try to keep it around 10 or less teams, and hit one last year for plus like 7,000 or something, and missed this week's or last week's by 2 legs, which was unfortunate. So still a lot of season left, so I'm not too worried about it. But the other games I kind of have written down. This Oklahoma State BYU game interests me quite a bit. Oklahoma State 3-3, 0-3 to Big 12. We kind of saw something similar to this where Gundy last year was left for dead. Had a horrendous start to the season, then all of a sudden rattled off like 6 wins, made it to the Big 12 championship game. I know, I hate saying this, because I like BYU, but I'm not sold on them. They've almost lost some games there where they really shouldn't have lost, and I'm really wondering, like, is this the week that Mike Gundy gets the pokes right and goes on the road and steals a win? It's a late one in a night game at BYU, which is fucking hard to play, but I don't know. I just have this one circled. I'm going to be watching it either way, but especially for a Friday game, I just think that one has a lot of potential for an upset. We'll get to the other few games here I have circled. To be honest, there's not a lot yet that I'm from my early digging I like. I'm not saying I'm going to bet this. I do like Iowa State in the spread. The other ones I like, this one seems to be a bit interesting. It's not at a line I like yet at 6.5. I'm not really – I think Indiana's good, but their schedule's kind of meh for me so far. I think Auburn wins this game against Mizzou, who I've said on this show multiple times that I think is the biggest fraud since FSU in terms of their ranking. Somehow fucking Michigan is back in the top 25, even though sitting the week out, which I guess, okay, whatever you say, AP. My biggest one I'm sitting here possibly going to hammer, and I can't even believe it's about to come out of my mouth, is Rutgers minus 4.5. UCLA
I can
is
get down with that.
UCLA is just horrendous. And I believe it's Greg Schiano is the head coach there at Rutgers. He has them looking like a pretty damn good team. But the thing that I like the most is going back to this cross-country travel. UCLA literally going across the country to play Rutgers in an early game. 10 a.m. my time. That's going to be 9 a.m. for them. Rutgers is going to keep it on the ground, going to pound UCLA. I think they win by 14. So that is that might be my lock of the week, if you will, at this point. I just don't see how 4.5 is enough. The last two spots I kind of have circled that I kind of really like. This game is an interesting one. I don't have anything for it, but let's see if we can find it here. Oh, Michigan, Illinois. Michigan, a 3-point. Yeah, Michigan, a 3-point favorite. I think the wrong team is favored there. I just said that Michigan has no business being ranked at 4-2, especially when you got teams like Texas Tech, who's undefeated in the Big 12, 5-1 overall. Granted, their schedule is a little soft, but they've at least beat one good team. And you got Arizona State, who just beat a ranked Utah, who is not ranked. So, I mean, there's some serious bias going on there that I don't want to get on a soapbox over, but I think Illinois wins that game probably by 4 at least. Michigan can't throw a goddamn forward pass. So that's probably my second favorite spot. And the other one I have circled right away is Maryland, here we go. Maryland, USC. Same sort of situation. USC is obviously a far better team than UCLA. Maryland just got absolutely embarrassed by Northwestern last week, but now you have USC traveling cross country to Maryland. I did write this down after I thought about it some more. I'm not sure I can get behind Maryland +7 total for the game. I'll be curious to see what that first half spread is, because I think that's probably the play. Maryland has unfortunately been letting some games slip away later that they probably shouldn't have. I'm going to see if FanDuel has a first half line there. It is a bit of a later game, so that is my one concern on why I don't want to play. I don't want to play them for the entirety of the game, because the game starts at would be 1:00 local time for USC. So the first half spread is Maryland +4.5. I feel like that's a take for me personally. Don't know. That's the other, in terms of games I maybe am curious to watch. Arizona, Colorado, Baylor, Texas Tech. I hope, as Tech is 3-0 in the Big 12, as a big Iowa State fan, I hope Baylor can maybe get a win there, because Tech's schedule is the rest of the way super, super soft. LSU, Arkansas is a big one I'm circling. I think Arkansas wins that game. I did write that down. It's at +2.5 though right now for Arkansas. It's not a line I want to touch yet. If more money comes in on LSU and pushes it up to 3.5, that's a take for me. Other than that, that's probably the spots I have circled so far. I'm going to try and look at later as more money comes in and we get closer to Friday's show. Is there what's maybe like a couple games for the college slate you're really looking forward to watching?
I thought you were going to talk about the service academies, Army and Navy.
Yep.
They're both ranked this week.
Rightfully so.
I think I might put both of them in a teaser play.
Yep.
Spreads are a little bit higher than I would like to take straight.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't get too many straight spreads, but Army against East Carolina at home. Navy's got Charlotte at home. I think they're both really good teams.
I do too. I feel like
Navy, ranked, that's for sure.
I feel like Navy's probably the better play if you're on the spread personally. Army's is up there. It's in the 20s, I think. So But yeah, I like both of those teams. I mean, what a great story. I hope they stay undefeated, for as long as
I hope so.
possible. Can you imagine end of the year, both those teams unrated or undefeated in that last matchup of the year? My God, what an electric game that
They're
would
fighting
be.
for a playoff spot.
Whew, whew.
I sure hope
Count
so.
me
That'd
in.
be something.
Count me in. I want
Not
that.
impossible that one of them makes the playoffs this year.
I hope one of them does for
They're
America.
both undefeated, 6-0 and 5-0.
Yeah.
So they both have as good a shot as anybody to make the playoffs right now.
Unfortunately for those two teams, their strength of schedule and records is in like the 90s. So they're going to have to go undefeated. It's just a fact. Their schedule's too soft. But if you go undefeated, could you imagine the uproar if you left out an undefeated Army or undefeated Navy team?
12-0 Army.
My God. The people
Like it's conference championship, but
people go crazy, say how much you fucking hate America. So, yeah, I think those are the spots like I said, I like early. That's a really good pull on you on games to watch this week with the Navy and Army. Definitely rooting for them. Definitely rooting for them.
Alabama and Tennessee, Georgia and Texas.
What is the line on the Georgia-Texas?
I mean, those are tough games to bet on, I think.
Yeah.
But obviously, good games to watch that we'll talk more about Friday. Actually, the boost for the Georgia-Texas game. There's a player like for Georgia and Texas for the boost.
Georgia, Texas. Texas 3.5. I'll be honest.
Both teams will score 20-plus points for that profit boost.
I'll be honest. I think
play.
Texas puts belt to ass on Georgia. Is my early lead. Texas is that crowd is going to be. They have been so desperate for a big time matchup for years, as Texas has been dog shit. And finally, the last few years under Sarkisian here, they're finally looking like the Texas that people grew up and remember in the the 90s or whatever, when they were winning championships all the time. And now you get a top 5 matchup in Georgia coming in, who Georgia looks susceptible as hell. I mean, Alabama gave them the script, how you beat them, right? Texas is just as talented, if probably more, than Alabama. So, man, definitely points will be scored, though. I think I agree with you there. The 20 plus is probably the play, something like that.
I mean, you can go up to 25 plus, maybe even 30 plus, but
yeah,
I like to be safe with these college teams.
Yeah, the line's 56. So, I mean, if you did 20 plus, that's, saying the total's 40. So, yeah, I mean, don't know how that misses, to be honest. Should be a decent week other than that. So, some good spots that we kind of talked about and looked ahead that, like you said, we'll talk about more on Friday.
Yeah.
We'll get to 2 more things, I think. So I said your favorite game of college football and NFL that you watched last week.
Past week?
Yep.
Oh, I was supposed to come prepared. Well, obviously Oregon and Ohio State for college. That was maybe the best game I've watched all season.
Yeah.
And then Georgia, Alabama, the 2 best games I've seen.
Yeah. That was a great game. What about NFL?
I cashed my parlay. That was the last leg to catch the 2 plays for me. So I very much had fun with that Oregon game.
And I'm glad the game wasn't like super late either. That was kind of – I feel like they're really loving these late games, 6, 7 o'clock, whatever. Like, come on, man. That's just they're totally missing out on the 12 o'clock window. So I stayed up for as long as possible, but one of my favorite games was the Kansas State Colorado game. That was such a good game. Maybe a close second was the Penn State USC, went into overtime. Great game there. terms of my favorite NFL, I'd probably have to say, well, I'd have to say watching Brock Purdy go out and get a win against the Seahawks was a good game. That was probably one of my favorite games of the week. So one more.
For me, it was that Bengals Giants game because I hit that parlay.
Yes. That was I actually did not watch that game. I was kind of busy on Sunday, so I didn't get to watch a whole lot live. But the ones I did watch, I did watch the Lions and the Cowboys. Actually, that was a good game just because
That was fun for me. I had a lot of fun with that game too.
Yeah. It was just fun to watch the Cowboys get absolutely smoked. That was the fun part.
Fun.
Right? Yeah. Last thing, taking away kind of overall, maybe winners and losers. Who was a winner this week in NFL for you, team wise or player or whatever?
Would say the Lions. They didn't lose Aiden Hutchinson because I feel like the Lions looked like the Lions I thought they were going to be this season. They quite haven't had the start I expected, but Aiden Hutchinson's just so devastating.
So that's
probably not
that's
the Lions then.
Yeah, probably
I would say the Lions, but losing Hutchinson's just.
They're my loser of the week, unfortunately. Even off a big win, losing your best player like that, that's probably. I mean, if you want to be realistic, probably screws their Super Bowl chances unless they get someone in free agency, is my opinion. What about a winner? Who do you think was a winner for NFL last week?
A loser?
Or a loser?
Loser would be Cowboys.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. Great loser, actually. Yeah.
Where do the Cowboys go from here?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, what do you do?
They got their bye week, and then they got a tough schedule coming up. Cowboys after the bye week.
Yep.
This is going to be very tough for Dallas to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
With the schedule coming up.
Let me pull up their schedule, who they got remaining.
Got a bye week and then 49ers, Sunday Night Football.
At 49ers, at Falcons, Eagles at home, Texans at home, Commanders there, Giants at home, Bengals at home, at the Panthers, travel to the Bucks, and then at the Eagles. And finish the season.
It's tough to make the playoffs.
It is going to be tough.
Still probably get in with 9 wins in the NFC, but that's not an easy schedule.
I mean, you got Washington in the NFC East right now at 4-2, just like
the way Washington's been looking.
Just like we all expected, right? So, my winner of the week was the Bears. Traveling across the pond's not easy. Caleb Williams continues to look really good, in my opinion. Still obviously early in his tenure, but he's really kind of taken a next step these last 3 weeks here. And then, granted, it was against a bad Jags team, so I'm not like crowning him, even though especially since I said I thought he was going to be a bust, but he's just looked better, and now they're on a bye this week. So, I don't know. As a Bears fan, you got to be feeling pretty good.
Accepting the Bears too.
Yep. For college, my winner of the week, Dan Lanning in Oregon. Yep. What a huge win for them. They had a lot of preseason hype. A lot of people picked them to win the Big Ten this year, and maybe we're probably rightfully so, kind of getting counted out early as they almost got beat a couple times early. They did escape with wins, but they finally kind of looked like they put it together this week, or last week, sorry, and beating Ohio State. and then pulling out just an absolute sharp as all hell coaching decision with that 12-man penalty. So Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks, my winner of the week in college. What about you? Loser of the week or winner?
I thought you were going to say Iowa State. Big winner of the week.
Not yet. Not yet. I'm trying to remain
Not yet.
humble. I'm trying to remain humble. I think if we get past this week with UCF, we go on a bye, and depending on what happens with Texas Tech, could be a ranked matchup as Texas Tech comes into Ames in 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Yeah, 2-ish weeks. Maybe game day even coming there. We'll see. Obviously, Iowa State will still be in the top 10, so sitting at 7-0. So get past UCF, and they'll be my winner of the week for sure. So
for next week.
Yeah. Next Tuesday, hopefully I'm not in a depressed mood after an absolute horrid loss or something like that. So, all right. That's all I got for this week, or for this kind of recap show. Anything else you want to bring up or touch on?
We'll get back to it on Friday. Get some picks in the next few days.
Yep. Make sure everyone you tune in on Friday. That's where we'll give the picks out. Hopefully we stay hot, and see you on Friday.
It was a great week last week. Let's do that again.
All right. I'll see you Friday. Thanks
See
for
ya.
watching, everyone.